A warm welcome to today's talk. It's Saturday the 17th of August and welcome from a somewhat disappointing of late United Kingdom. Now, the official denials about vaccine harms from COVID vaccines are still going on, and where there's no denials, very often there's a deafening silence. But information is starting to come out that shows the magnitude of this problem. Now, we've been aware of this for some time on this channel. I'm just going to show you briefly why. Now, largely because we've been talking to people who've been severely vaccine injured. So let's just have a look at those people here that have been noble enough to talk to us on the channel. Alex, who had a leg amputated after the vaccine. We've talked to Alex recently. Kyle was one of the people, the person really who first alerted me to the risks of vaccine injury, talking to him about his vaccine injury, where he'd gone from being a great athlete to being really very severely disabled with a lot of pain and distress. Adam, again, we've talked to Adam several times on the channel, again, suffering greatly from the adverse effects of the vaccine. John, of course, again, likewise, and we did an event up in Glasgow to raise funds for people that were vaccine injured that John brilliantly organised. And then Brianne has suffered terribly as a result of the vaccine. I'll put a link to her video. The way she suffered is quite incredible, and her fortitude and bravery is exceptional. Let me just give you a couple more shots here from Brianne. This is her before her vaccine injury, and of course she's given us these pictures with full permission to share with a lovely family. Having fun on the slopes, very athletic. Wow, that's her up on the ski bob, what do you call that, water skiing, rock climbing, wow, impressive lady. And this is her after the vaccine injury, completely disabled as a result of the vaccine injury, and we will try and get an update from Brianne soon. And we've looked at many other cases, of course, many other cases. Now, getting on to today's topic, freedom of information request, and this is freedom of information request put in by the newspaper, the Daily Telegraph. Why, oh why, do we have to get so much information from freedom of information requests? Do you think one day the government or these quasi-governmental organisations will say, look, we're going to come clean. We're going to give the public all the information we've got. Let your own statisticians and data scientists do a thorough peer review on this and see what they come up with. Wouldn't hold your breath on that one. Anyway, this is the headline, almost 14,000 seat compensation, saying COVID vaccine left them disabled. Not good. That's the link there. Now, British applications for alleged harm caused by the COVID vaccines. And of course, there's possible payments from the UK. £120,000. Now, payments have been awarded so far for people with strokes, heart attacks, dangerous blood clots, there's VIT, vaccine-induced vaccine-induced thrombotic thrombocytopenia, inflammation of the spinal cord, excessive limb swelling after vaccination, facial paralysis, and of course many other complications that we have talked about already on this channel, but they're specific things mentioned in the article that payments have been given for. Now, so far most of the information is coming out about AstraZeneca, and we know there's harms from other vaccines as well, of course, but this is mostly from AstraZeneca at the moment. How long will it take for the other ones to come out in more detail? More time perhaps, but we are learning quite a lot more as we go along, sadly. Anyway, around 97% of claims paid so far for AstraZeneca. So the claims that are being paid for are largely AstraZeneca so far. But of course, we have talked to quite a few people, like John, for example, who had, I think he had a couple of AstraZeneca, then a Pfizer, and then there was the problem. So hard to really pin down which particular vaccine caused most of the pathology, really. It was as if one primed him and the other one like put him over the edge. And that's true in other cases as well, of course. United government, UK government, sorry, United Kingdom, not too sure about the U at the moment, but never mind. United Kingdom government continued to recommend AstraZeneca after being stopped in Germany, Italy, France, Spain, Denmark, Norway, the Netherlands, Sweden, Latvia, or by March 2021. We were very slow to suggest that the other vaccines might be more efficacious as a reason for toning down and stopping, basically, the AstraZeneca vaccine. At the time, I don't remember anyone saying we're withdrawing the AstraZeneca vaccine because it's just too dangerous. This has been a reckless experiment, so we're withdrawing it for safety reasons. No, that's not what I recall. I recall them just saying, look, these other vaccines are better, more efficacious. And of course, the UK Prime Minister, back in February, March this year, said that the vaccines were safe in the House of Commons. The new Prime Minister has yet to comment, but unfortunately Andrew Bridgen's not there to ask the questions anymore, unfortunately. But let's hope we hear something from the new Prime Minister on this soon. Again, don't hold your breath on that one. But it would be nice. It would be nice. Vaccine damage payment scheme is what people are being paid out with. This £120,000, founded in 1979, around 16,000 applications, but it was just said about 14,000 of those are for the COVID vaccines. The COVID vaccines are in almost, 2,000 since 1979, presumably, and then 14,000 with the COVID vaccines. It speaks for itself. Massively, massively more dangerous. Massively more reckless would be a word that could be used. And yet we were told repeatedly at the time they were safe and effective. Well, we now know they're not. Simple as that. Now, 5,500 cases turned down by medical assessors so far. Some are saying there's no concrete proof that the vaccines caused harm. There's not a lot of concrete proof in medicine, to tell you the truth. But if that's the standard they want, I guess they'll keep a lot of their money. This is government money, of course, not AstraZeneca money. Other people are not disabled enough. 175 cases so far have been awarded the £120,000. Only 175 cases out of the 14,000 applications. Not an encouraging start as we're well into the second half of 2024. In fact, less than 2% of applications have received compensation. Less than 2%. 519 claims turned down before a medical assessment. 1,000 people have asked for their claims to be reconsidered, and of those, 12 decisions have been reversed, and they will now receive a payment. 350 claims accepted the vaccine caused harm, but not caused severe disablement. So you have to be severely disabled, more than 60% disabled, to get the compensation. Otherwise, you get nothing. It must be 60% disabled, whatever that means. They do have some criteria, but due to, I'm sure there's some subjectivity there. 700 people have been waiting for over a year for a decision. Again, why did this have to come out with freedom of information? Why weren't we just told this? Now, the Daily Telegraph does go on to give a couple of case studies, which are there. They are in the public domain, but one couple had the wife had the AstraZeneca in April 2001, now suffers from autoimmune granulomatosis, which is a disease basically of an inflammatory disease of the blood vessels. Paralysis started from the feet and moved upwards, admitted to hospital. Scan diagnosed transverse myelitis. Transverse means across the way. Myelitis is inflammation of the spinal cord. Of course, all the messages going up and down. If there's a layer of the spinal cord that doesn't work, then clearly that can block signals up and down. And of course, transverse myelitis is a known side effect of the vaccine. Summer 2022, her condition continued to deteriorate, and she got worse actually with a COVID infection. So being vaccinated to prevent COVID, the COVID actually exacerbated the vaccine injuries. Her husband says the collapses came just days after the vaccine, but the medical assessors rejected the claim. The medical note said she had a history of back pain and multiple falls, but the lady never complained about back pain or had falls before the jab. It was always very active. And the husband goes on to describe his distress. We'll take it day by day. But it's the prognosis for recovery is slim. There's another case study with a gentleman whose wife died as a result of the vaccine in May 2021. And again, very moving account of the suffering that has caused. We should remember the principle: first, do no harm. Now, the paper did give the vaccine producers right of reply, of course. AstraZeneca, now it was May 2024, they began the worldwide withdrawal. They were granted legal indemnity. So it's the UK taxpayers that are paying for the compensation. AstraZeneca say our sympathy goes out to anyone who has lost loved ones or reported health problems. Patient safety is our highest priority. Pleased to hear that. A Pfizer spokesman: patient safety is paramount and we take any reports of adverse events very seriously. Again, pleased to hear that, but they go on to say it doesn't indicate causality. So 14,000 vaccine injury claims. And the other thing that came out on this is the couple that's given us is the case study that the wife got ill, but they didn't think it could be the vaccine because they weren't told the vaccine could cause the adverse events. And I've talked to a lot of people, and I'm sure you have, and they say, you know, I've started getting this, that, and various side effects. And when you look at it, it could be adverse reactions of the vaccine. Of course, not necessarily. But I suspect we have a somewhat undiagnosed iceberg still to come, sadly. Need more work on this. We need more diagnostic tests. And we need to be open and upfront, and this data needs to be released, not drip, 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 drip by freedom of information requests, please. Scale of the problem now becoming apparent. How long will this go on for? How many long-term problems will become evident? Time will tell. But for now, thank you for watching.